Welcome back, student. I am Mrs. Harsha Jope from Praveen Patel Polytechnic, Bhayindar. Today we are going to study next part of our chapter number 5, that is Introduction of Curves. Learning outcomes of these videos are: after watching this video, you will be able to know about types of curves. There are 4 types of curves: Hilbert curves, Koch curves, B-spline curve and Bezier curves. First, we will study Koch curve and Hilbert curve in this lecture. Basically, these curves are categorized as spline curve representation and fractal representation. Fractal representation, it is classified as Hilbert's curve and Koch curve. First we will study what is the Koch curve. Before that we will study fractal representation. Artificial or man-made objects have either flat surfaces which can be drawn by using polygons or smooth curved surfaces. Which can be drawn by using curves. But objects in nature are rough, jagged and random edges. Mountain trees, rivers or lightning bolts can be drawn with a lot of specification. This can be done with the help of fractals, in which machine can draw jog line provided two endpoints. In the fractal geometry method, procedure rather than equations are used to model objects. Then we'll study what do you mean by a Koch curve. In Koch curve, we have to begin at a line segment. Divide that particular line. We have to divide that particular line into third and replace the center by two adjacent sides of an equilateral triangle. You can see that this is our actual line segment. What you have to do? You have to divide it into 1/3, 3 equal parts, and then you have to lift this center part upward. So after lifting this particular part upward, you will get this diagram. This is called a replacement of line segment for the Tydick-Koch curve. This will give the curve which begins and ends at the same place as the original segment, but it's built of 4 equal length segments. With each 1/3 of original length, so the new curve has 4/3 the length of original segment. Repeat the process for each of the 4 segments as shown in figure. You can see this is your second approximation to Koch curve. This is your first approximation. Okay, this is your first approximation. Then in second curve, again we have to divide that particular line segment which we got in this first approximation in 3 parts and lift up the center part. Okay, here this line we have divided into 1, 2 and 3 parts and we have to lift it. So after lifting this, you will get this particular shape. Again this slanting line, it will be divided into 3 parts and the center one, it will be lifted up. Again this side, it will be divided into 3 parts and the center will be lifted up. Again this slipping line, it will be divided into 3 parts and the center one will be lifted. Then you can see that the representation of the particular Koch curve. This will give the curve which starts and ends at the same place as the original segment, but is built of 4 equal length segments with each 1/3 of the original length. So the new curve has 4/3 the length of original segment Repeat same process for each of the 4 segments, which will give curve more wiggles and its length becomes 16 by 9 times the original. Suppose repeating the replacement indefinitely, since each repetition increases the length by factor of 4 by 3. The length of curve will be infinite, but it is folded in lots of tiny wiggles. In this diagram, you can see that this is your line segment, this is your first step, this is your second step, third step, and this is your fourth step. The next is a Hilbert curve. The Hilbert curve is a space-filling curve that visits every point in a square grid with a size of 2 by 2, 4 by 4, 8 by 8 or 16 by 16 or any other power of 2. The curve can be built by the following successive approximation. In this, begin with a square. The first approximation will be divide the square into 4 quadrants and draw the curve which connects the center point of each. As shown in diagram, you can see that we have divided the particular square into 4 quadrants, and what we have to do, we have to connect the center of that particular quadrant. Okay, this is the center, then we have to connect it, then this is the center. Then what in the second approximation, again we have to further divide each of the quadrants and connects the center of each of these inner divisions before moving to the next major quadrants. You can see this particular diagram. Here we will again divide that particular quadrants into 4 equal parts. In the third approximation, again subdivide it, if again connects the center of the finest level before stepping to the next level of detail. Applying the process continuously, in the final stage, one thing is the curve never cross each cell. At each subdivision, the curve fills smaller quadrants but never crosses into an area where it already exists. That's all about your Hilbert's curve. Thank you for watching this video.